Good morning. There is nothing more that I love than being able to have content on a platter on a Monday morning. So I responded to a question that has to do about what are some red flags about an employee's first day. And boy, did this start taking off. Now, we all have our different views. Management usually has different views from the employees or the newer people that aren't in the executive level roles that are setting up the parameters. But this one's just teed me off perfectly to dive in a little bit more and then just get another million views. So watch out, because here I come with some responses for all of the comments. All right, so personally, I run a pretty laid-back ship. My employees are pretty flexible, free, but they get me. Our team gets each other. And that's why it's so important that when you're interviewing for a job, you actually interview the company. You have to make sure that you're going to be a fit more than just trying to grab the money. Some of these comments that I've received seem to be the type of person that takes a job and just expects it to be there versus I love my job, I want to do it, and it's natural. I'm excited to be here. So I have maybe an older point of view, even though I'm rather young, of if you walk in the door at 9 o'clock, you're late. You walk in that door at 9 o'clock, that doesn't mean anything. You still gotta go get your coffee, go get to your desk, go do whatever you have to do. Now, don't get me wrong. When I first wrote this, before it started getting a lot of play, people were saying, well, what about security protocols? Okay, let's exclude all of the things that you need major badges for, and it's all high tech, whatever it may be. Because I apologize, and yes, those first days would be a little bit different. But then my response would be for day 2. So for everything else about it is just like meetings, just like anything else that goes on, time is everything. If you show up exactly when something's supposed to happen, to me, it's late. You show up a few minutes before, you're on time. Some people don't like that, but it's worked for me. And that's what it is. And I tend to think that we've built a successful culture in a lot of the organizations that I've been with because we've built with the right people. In an interview, it's not about talking us up like it's the honeymoon stage. It's about telling an employee or potential prospect every reason why not to work here. What are our tendencies? What are our warts? What are the things that just suck to your average person? Because we want you to know exactly what you're getting when you come on, especially with somebody who would be dealing with me as your lead. So I started receiving a ton of responses. I'm going to go into a few of these questions and just talk about some responses towards them or how I feel. So one of them that somebody says, Sai, I'm so glad that I don't work for you. Managers like you are why Americans have such little work/life balance. First off, why on earth would you expect any new hire to be doing anything on their first day to be productive at all? Well, first off, I'm the biggest definition of pushing people for work-life balance. I don't care when you do it. There are a lot of businesses out there that talk about set hours, scheduled time. If this is a scheduled time, which this question was, then this is how you should be operating. But for the most part, our employees are extremely casual. We have great communication. We talk in Slack. A lot of us are remote versus what we have at our headquarters. And it's just when I hire somebody to get on a task, I'm not hiring a rookie. I'm not hiring an entry-level person, and none of these people that are responding are entry-level. So you should be able to jump right in the saddle. Don't try and talk about, presumably they're going to need to get set up and figure things out and run you through it. No, if I hired you, and once again, we're talking about in my role, my business, we're talking marketing, digital, anything like that. First off, digital, there is nothing special about it that can't be taught. So if you already know it, which we're hiring people that already know it in this case, you should be able to just flip the switch. You have your access code to go in there and work on social or do some audits. You should be able to do that. I don't understand why there's pushback about this. So we'll look at another question. Or another comment. What kind of marketing message is this supposed to be? Because to me, it screams, I'm a mechanist jerk who hasn't read a book on leadership or management published since the 1970s. And absolutely will text you on your honeymoon demanding that you show up to a meeting the next day. Maybe the army was soft, and if I told a soldier to be at a place at a certain time, I meant be at that place at that time, and I budgeted time to get him oriented into his new duties, the facilities, programs, and people that would be supporting him. But maybe the army is just too new age. So this one is kind of just a little bit ridiculous. First off, no, I'm not sitting there reading books, because if you're in a management position, you should fucking know how to operate your business. Let's just be honest. So no, I'm not sitting there reading and doing this. I feel my employees. We build a team that works together in unison, that everybody understands different things. And while I may come from a law enforcement background of family members, nobody on my team does. So there are certain pieces that we take out of it that we could all learn from, but it doesn't mean that it's like that. When someone's a honeymoon like that, that's just ridiculous. If anything, I am way too over the top with, all right, you're good to go. I'm not going to bother you. There's no micromanaging here. I'm going to give you enough rope to essentially hang yourself. So for the people that think like that's overbearing, it's like, no, I just want you here, ready to go, ready to do your job. When we bring people on board, they have books, they have books and briefings that they should have read before they start their first day. So in my situation, yes, it's different because the other stuff is already taken care of. So once again, so it could be apples to oranges, but I also just wanted to explain a little bit of why that's my response. So management books into 1970s, listen, I guess you could read books, and although I'm not saying go out there and go read every book, because you're not going to find new things and everything, but you just have to adapt and understand what your team is like. There are certain people where we know, hey, for example, I may not be able to work with creatives because they want to talk in theory, they want to do something. So we have that staffed out to one of our executives in another role to be able to handle that creative who could speak that tone, versus getting aggravated if one of our other leaders can't actually work with them because they just want the work done or they want something else. Like, it's just a different world, and too many people definitely seem to be getting caught up in the wrong stuff. So I hear another thing. Let's see. Somebody said it once again about being on time. I agree with everything you posted. So thank you, Darren Wolbers. Everything you posted except the on time is late in my book. This was an adage used in the 90s that didn't really work out, didn't really apply then, and it certainly doesn't apply now. On time is on time, late is late. Listen, I get that. I understand. And sometimes when I'm writing a message, you really can't convey every last feeling, emotion, or even get your tone behind it from just long form written content. So yes, I know this. No, someone's not being docked pay or there's not an issue. However, the things that I notice from the people that try and check in at just the right time or leave at just the right time or go offline at just the right time if they're remote or just the time and go back skin to teeth. These are people, in my opinion, that do show red flags for my system, for our system. And it's not for everybody. And I make sure as heck that I don't hire people to be on my team that don't understand these things up front. But it's because if somebody's not so excited to be doing what they're doing for their job, they're going to eventually become a problem. They're going to slack in certain areas. They're going to do the bare minimum. I want people that are going above and beyond. I want people that are so passionate about what they do that time is really irrelevant. Now, this doesn't happen for everybody. Now, I know I'm going on a little bit of a ramble here because I'm just I understand some of these comments, but I also don't like that I'm being targeted as like a bad person to work for or things like that, because I could show you the list of people that give high recommendations, even from our internship program. I want people to be excited. And if that's not them, that's cool, but they'll probably find themselves as an outlier with us, because I wake up, come out of bed, and it's like, I'm happy to work today. What do we got? It's just my personality. And there's something I heard a long time ago when I was really young of saying, well, you can't ask people to care as much as you unless you give them a piece of the business or a piece of what it is. I agree. First off, I never require anybody to care or be as passionate about work as me. If somebody naturally has some of those traits, great. It'll provide us an opportunity to maybe have some more rapport and me to be able to see your skills a little bit more, because you're engaging at different times, different hours. Just, it's something different about you. But that's not going to hurt somebody else because they're not like that. I digress. Back to the point of comping people for their work. I pay too much. We recommend paying too much because I have a strong belief that if you don't have to worry about money, because I believe money is the biggest issue at home and in someone's life, if you don't have to worry about money, then you're going to be able to love work a lot more. So when it comes to comp, I'm taking care of comp. Not only what your regular comp is, but anything that you're doing, anything that you are able to bring to the table from a business sense, I cut you in as a partner. You get a percentage. And you're not getting a percentage of the net. I give you percentages of gross. That's how it is. And if it's something that's, let's say it's a retainer package, let's say it's social media management, that's $4,000 a month. If Jimmy brought that, I'm cutting Jimmy in because I want Jimmy to be happy about what he did. I'm not just giving him a one-off of a $500 bonus or a $200 American Express gift card. No, Jimmy's going to get that 20% or 25%, and maybe he's making an extra $800 a month on recurring on top of his salary. So I take great pride in my team being successful and excited about work. So once again, this message was from my response, my situation, somebody who wants to grow. I know that you are not a good fit for us. For me, and I'll keep putting this back towards me, for me, if you're somebody who just wants to punch the clock, it's noble work, totally get it, not gonna work here, because I give so much rope for you to do with what you want with, that I need you to be thinking proactive and what's next, coming up with solutions before something becomes an issue. So that, once again, so this really just comes back to my situation, our area of business, and maybe it's not the same for everybody. So another person that was truly on the same page is a guy named Jeff McGowan. I live my life with this truism: I would rather be an hour early than a minute late. This allows you to avoid the stressful drive to work and any little things that may delay you starting work when the pay clock gets closer. It's a non-issue when you are there before starting time. This habit of my relief showing up a minute or two before they start drove me absolutely bananas. But when I took at least 15 minutes to get things all geared up and start ready to work, it became a reason as to why I was successful and what helped me be the best that I could be. So thank you, Jeff. I totally appreciate the comment. And I'm not going to go into all the other ones because they're all very similar. We got some positive, some negative on there. But because I love to respond to people, because I care about every last person that writes comments on any of our platforms in response to anything we speak about. So thank you very much, whether it was positive or negative. Hope that I was able to pull back some of the layers or pull back the curtain so you could see maybe why my point of view was this, but it is not that contrarian military, you're fired for being on time. No, none of that stuff. So hopefully this provided some context to my content, and hope you have a great day. Please keep checking out our destination for content, michaelswilder.com. There is a new article every single day about entrepreneurship, marketing, sales, growth hacking, everything else. It's repositioning of the agency model to differentiate ourselves from the clowns. Everybody have a great day and get back to work.